Leaving the Eden campground, wedged in the back seat, driving down the now familiar dirt road for the last time, passing by the little villages and the school where we met the staff, then finally reaching the highway, I felt some emotion. I was going to miss this place and these people. There are always people walking along the highway, very often carrying water containers. Keep in mind, there's no piped water outside the larger cities. It has to be carried in by hand, or by head as the case may be. They place a high value on education here in Uganda. That was evidenced by the many schools we passed along the way. As you drive into the many small towns, they have these speed bumps, and this made sense to me. But we crossed countless speed bumps on the open highways, sometimes no more than a mile apart, for no apparent reason. And remember, these are the main highways here in Uganda. Driving south, we backtracked our earlier route into the city of Gulu again, where we stopped for gas and a bit more local currency, before heading back out into the countryside and finally on a route we had not traveled before. And traveling through the African countryside, you never know what you might find. These elephants were just walking through this field. It was exciting to see them, even though they were quite a ways away. A short time and many speed bumps later, we crossed the Victoria Nile and entered Murchison Falls National Park. Then we continued on to the Murchison River Lodge, where we'd be spending the next 2 nights. After checking in, we followed the trail to our tent, which was built on a platform underneath this big thatched roof. Inside was a king-size bed with a mosquito net. While we haven't seen many mosquitoes or bugs of any kind, every room we've stayed in here in Uganda has had a similar net over the bed. I think we got lucky. It must get bad here at other times of the year. The bathroom is in the back. Notice the latch on the door. That's to keep the monkeys out of the tent. You can see the bathroom walls don't go all the way to the roof, and they could climb right in. That's something to think about when you get up in the night. And the shower is open to the rest of the room, just as we've seen everywhere else we've stayed. The tents and cottages are scattered around the property, and we take this trail to the restaurant and the bar. There's Dave. It seems like whenever I come down here, I see him. I'm just saying. The restaurant is attached to the bar and up a few steps. This is where we come for breakfast, lunch, afternoon snacks, happy hour, and dinner. Our entertainment is the monkeys running through the rafters, just waiting to grab a snack if someone looks the other way. If you walk all the way through the restaurant, there's a lawn area on the other side. You can see what a beautiful location it is, right here on the Victoria Nile River. The pool area is just a few steps up the hill from the restaurant towards our tent, and the changing room here has comfortable seating, a desk, and is the only place with internet and an outlet to charge my laptop. As a bonus, you get to watch the monkeys playing on the sunshade roof over top of the pool. The next morning, after getting a jump start for our once again dead battery, we made our way through the village on the rickety dirt road and back to the highway. The lodge was really disorganized in regard to wildlife viewing, so we decided to do our own game drive on our way out. These baboons were waiting for us right at the park exit, and we haven't even gotten to the viewing area yet. I think it's going to be a great morning for animal spotting. Leaving the national park and heading back the way we came, we again crossed the Victoria Nile, this time to the north. Just another one of our beloved speed bumps, a few more baboons along the roadside, and we were there. It was finally time to get moving on, so we figured out how to get back to the highway, and we were doing pretty well. And then we got a flat tire. We weren't too concerned because we knew the spare was good, but we quickly discovered that the jack wasn't working. Stranded, kind of in the middle of nowhere, there was no option but to keep going, flat or not. Luckily, some safari buses caught up with us as we were limping along, and the drivers helped us get going. But that tire was ruined. I sure hope we don't need it again. Once back on the highway, our route would take us south across the river for the last time and through the park to our next destination, but we couldn't leave without stopping briefly at Murchison Falls. All of the water in that big wide river you saw back at the lodge flows through this narrow opening. After a quick look at the falls, we got moving again. We had one more detour, the small town of Wanseko. Wanseko is located right where the Victoria Nile flows into Lake Albert. Not only did we see fishermen casting their nets and the ferry leaving, it was our only chance to see Lake Albert. We got back on the road quickly. Our stop at Wanseko was brief, since we still had to drive at least a couple more hours to the city of Hoima, where we would be spending the night. We didn't yet have a place to stay and came across the Mika Eco Resort Hotel. It was a nice place, and although we didn't have reservations, they did have rooms available for us. Notice the mosquito nets even here in the city. It's kind of a sprawling place, but it's just a short walk through the beautiful grounds to the hotel restaurant, where we would have breakfast in the morning before heading to a primary school inside of a Congolese refugee settlement in Kangwali. I'll show you that in the next video.